Good day. Here are the stories for the Manila Times for Monday, January 4, 2021. Senator Shurin Gatchalian has asked law enforcers to investigate reports that some students held a Christmas sale of their sexy and lewd photos and videos to raise funds for their distance learning. Gatchalian on Sunday urged the Department of Justice's Office of Cybercrime and the Philippine National Police's Anti-Cybercrime Group to look into the report of the Philippine Online Student Tambayan, a news portal of the student sector, that some students use #AlterPH, #AlterPinay, and #AlterPhilippines on Twitter to sell lewd photos and videos. He noted that the students use what they earn to buy gadgets for their siblings and to pay for internet bills. A Christmas bundle, which contains an array of photos and videos that sometimes reveal the face of sellers, is sold for as low as 150 pesos. From March 1 to May 24 last year, there were 279,166 cases of online sexual exploitation of children recorded in Metro Manila, a 264% surge from the 76,561 cases in 2019. Countries tightened restrictions on their populations on Sunday to fight the resurgence of the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, as the European Union offered to help drug companies expand vaccine production to improve distribution bottlenecks. From local curfews to alcohol bans and complete lockdowns, governments are trying to tackle a surge in cases. The coronavirus had killed more than 1.8 million people globally since emerging in China in December of 2019, according to a tally from official sources compiled by the Agence France-Presse. But experts fear the worst is yet to come, predicting a sharp rise in infections and deaths after weeks of holiday gatherings. Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo has welcomed a Kuwait court sentence of death to the female employer of a Filipino worker who was murdered in December 2019. Go also pressed for establishment of the Department of Overseas Filipinos to further protect the rights of Filipinos overseas. A Kuwaiti criminal court on December 30 sentenced to death by hanging the Kuwaiti woman for killing Jeneline Villavende. Her husband was sentenced to 4 years in prison for covering up the crime. The site of the first Mass in the Philippines, celebrated by the Spaniards, is still the subject of debate as the Catholic Church celebrates the event's 5th centenary this year. According to the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines website, whether or not the first Mass in the Philippines took place on Homonhon Island off eastern Samar remains an academic discussion. What is indisputable is that Portuguese Ferdinand Magellan and his Spanish crew landed on March 16, 1521 in Homonhon, where they stayed for 8 days before sailing on to Limasawa Island in southern Leyte. Historians disagree whether the Augustinian missionary accompanying the Magellan expedition celebrated Mass right on Homonhon or later on Limasawa. The debate has lingered, and the pronouncement of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines or NHCP that the first Easter Sunday Mass was held in Limasawa on March 31, 1521, only added fuel to the argument. Some historical theorists claim that the devoutly Catholic Spaniards traditionally hold a Mass on Easter Sunday, but that does not rule out an earlier service in Homonhon either as Thanksgiving after a long and perilous journey or to mark the start of the Holy Week. The NHCP has decided for the meantime to downplay the trivial and debatable face of history. The Department of Labor and Employment on Sunday said the Filipina nurse in the United Kingdom, who was given recognition by the Queen of England, had given honors to the Philippines. Charito Romano was included in the New Year's honors list of Medal of the Order of the British Empire recipients bestowed by Queen Elizabeth II. Romano was cited for her exemplary work at a home care at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in the United Kingdom. Metro Manila mayors are waiting for the guidelines on the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines to be used in the inoculation of their constituents. Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares, chair of the Metro Manila Council, said the group was waiting for the Food and Drug Administration and the Department of Health to issue guidelines and procedures on the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelos said members of the Presidential Security Group should not be criticized for being vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine despite the risks. In his television program Counterpoint, He stressed that PSG personnel risked their lives by allowing themselves to be injected with the vaccine. For the first time in history, the city of Valenzuela recorded no cases of firecracker-related injuries during the New Year revelry. Mayor Rex Gatchalian said private and public hospitals in the city reported that they received no cases of injuries related to firecrackers. He praised residents for observing the ban on firecrackers and pyrotechnic devices. In business, Philippine headline inflation likely slowed in December as lower electricity rates and stronger peso offset the increase in food prices, analysts polled by the Manila Times said. Projections for the month ranged from 2.6 to 3.4%, with a 3.1% average, lower than the 3.3% recorded in November last year, but higher than the 2.5% in December of 2019. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas earlier projected inflation to settle at 2.9 to 3.7%. The Philippine Statistics Authority is set to release official December 2020 inflation data within the week. Analysts from ING Bank Manila and PhilStocks forecast inflation to hit 3.4%. Over to sports. Emerging from the lockdown induced by the COVID-19 pandemic, Pinay boxer Nesty Petesio returned to training to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. For months, Petesio, 28, had to settle for online training, which she said was hard due to slow internet connection in her area. That is why the Davao del Sur Pride was so happy with the start of bubble training for national athletes at the Inspire Sports Academy in Calamba, Laguna this January. Petesio has 5 months to train and compete in the last Olympic qualifying tournament for boxers in Paris in May. The event was supposed to take place last year, but was postponed due to the pandemic. Petesio said that her 5-month training might not be enough for her to return to tip-top shape, but she is bent on pulling it off. Rigoberto Tiglao and Father Ranilio Aquino are the front-page columnists for today's edition of the Times. Tiglao discusses the case against President Rodrigo Duterte filed at the International Criminal Court, while Father Aquino discusses on what defines democracy. Today's editorial wonders if abortion is deadlier than COVID-19 this past 2020. Read the full version on the paper's opinion section or listen to the voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and keep up with the Times. With the Fort Villasaran, this is Arik John C. Core reporting. May you have a great week ahead and stay safe.